Hi, I'm Kayla Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. It's Saturday of my 5-day long weekend and I've discovered a problem. It's not dinner time yet. It's not. Past Kayla didn't necessarily do me any favors. This just says a small quiet clan moment, not centering Alex, that reminds Kira this is her place now. That's great, but I don't know what I actually put in the manuscript because I just described the kind of thing I wanted in the manuscript, not the scene I actually used. So past Kayla is remarkably unhelpful. On Thursday and Friday, I had something to do either in the early afternoon or late morning, and instead of writing beforehand, I let myself get into what's called waiting room brain, which is essentially that you know something is coming up, so you can't focus on anything else. You just prepare for the thing that you have to do. On Thursday, I went for a walk with my mom and her doggo, and on Friday, I had a socially distant hangout with some really good friends of mine, and I visited my potential new roommate. All of these things were good. They were things that I either wanted or needed to do, and I'm glad that I got them done. The problem arose when I got home and I couldn't shake the waiting room brain. Instead of falling into the pattern of writing, I kept thinking about other things that needed to get done. Dinner getting on the table, finding paperwork for my new roommate to sign. Things that do need to get done and do need some of my attention, but didn't need to take up the whole day. By the time I got around to writing, it was like 8:30, and I go to bed at 10 because I'm a little old lady. And while that's enough time to fulfill the requirements of my 2-day rule that I've imposed on myself, it's not really enough time to get the substantive work done on my outline that I wanted. I was holding out this secret hope that it wouldn't take me 2 weeks to do the outline, that I could get it finished this long weekend, because I don't really have that much else on my plate. After my quarter review, I should have known better. Looking at my own statistics, it's about even odds whether or not I'll actually write on a non-work day. And I think I'm starting to figure out why. On days when I have my capitalism job, I don't let myself fall into waiting room brain. My shift starts at 8:20, and typically by 8 o'clock, I'm making my second cup of coffee for the day and shifting into work mode. But I wake up at 6:30, get coffee, get breakfast, feed the cats, and then ideally by 7 o'clock, 7:10, I'm working on my book. Because it's the first thing I do in my day, I'm at my freshest, my mind is the least cluttered, and because I have work soon, I don't really have time to start anything else, except for maybe putting on a load of laundry or doing the dishes. There's not a lot of time to start housework or planning for the rest of my day. So I've created a scenario for myself where writing is actually the path of least resistance. I can drink my first cup of coffee, listen to music, work on my book, do things that I enjoy as I sort of prepare myself for my capitalism job. But on the weekends, I don't do that. On days where I'm not writing, I sleep in a little bit later. I don't get up until 7:30, 7:45. That's when I feed the cats. That's when I have my first cup of coffee. And then instead of having that time limit of you have to be logged into work by 8:20, so you might as well get some writing done now, I can perpetually tell myself, you can write later. Oh, it's 9:30 and I haven't written anything? That's fine, you can write this afternoon. Oh, it's 1 and you still haven't written anything? That's fine, you can write tonight. But then I keep pushing it off, and by the time I get around to it, I'm tired, or I'm thinking of something else, or I've gotten distracted by another project or housework or some other adult responsibility that I need to deal with. So it's about 7:15 on Saturday morning, and I have something to do in the early afternoon today. I am going to try to resist my inclination to waiting room brain and do some writing now. I've made coffee, I've fed the cats, I gave them a snuggle, and there's theoretically nothing standing between me and writing until I have to leave. So for the rest of April, I'm going to prioritize writing earlier in the day, regardless of whether or not I work. I'm hoping that that will trick my brain into being more productive on non-work days and not let me push it off until the end of the day when I just don't have the energy for it. We'll see if that bumps up my numbers at the end of the quarter. I have too much hair. I shaved off half my head and I still have too much hair. Comes before your actual manuscript. I had some like really good intentions about being super productive today, but then my cat knocked a giant glass bowl off the top of my bookshelf and broke my desk and shattered glass all over the floor, and now I need to fix my desk and I need to clean up glass and I need to move my bookshelf so that he can't do that shit anymore. feel both very close to and very far from my goal of finishing my outline, mostly because I've done the broad strokes revisions to it already, the things that I knew really significantly needed to get changed, like I wiped all traces of the kidnapping plot from it and that kind of thing. But now I'm at the part where I have to go back and do the finicky little details, like if I change this scene in the future, what does that do to my act 1? What are the through lines that I want to make sure that I'm connecting so that the whole plot seems like cohesive and well thought out? I also have to go back in and do my timeline, which I fucking hate. Luckily it's a shapeshifter book, so I do have some things that are quite strictly time bound. Anything to do with the moon has to happen in a certain time frame, which means that I can actually just go in and make sure that the rest of my events are happening within a reasonable time span within those time bound events. They're kind of like a start and finish line for me.
I think prioritizing writing in the morning did actually help. I wrote on 3 of 5 days this weekend, and one of the non-writing days was the fuck around day that I decided to give myself in my quarterly goals video. If you have any other ideas for how to keep myself from entering waiting room brain, or how to kick myself out of it, I would love to hear them. Other questions, comments, complaints, you can of course leave down below. Like, subscribe, do that good engagement shit. And if you are looking for me anywhere else, I am pretty much everywhere as Kayla Amanda. That is Kaylughmanda, and I'll see you next time.